Hi everyone! Thanks for joining me again in Disney and dieting. Today's video I want to talk about my dieting history. As you already know, I have been dieting since I was about 12 years old, so 11 years now. The first time I ever really remember caring about my weight was when I was about 10 or 11 years old. We were in gym class and we had to take the presidential fitness test, where we had to figure out how many sit-ups we could do, how many crunches we could do. We also had to record our height and our weight. I was about to get on the scale to find out how much I weighed. At the time, I think I was about 5'2", 5'1", something like that. So, you know, fairly tall for an 11-year-old girl. Before I wrote down my number and before I found out what I weighed, I looked at everyone else's papers around me, or at least the girls anyway, and most of the girls had written down a weight that was between 85 and 100 pounds. Okay, so I step on the scale and I see 120 pounds. And I just can't believe it. I don't understand why I am this big. Now, something I didn't keep in mind back then. One, I was taller than most of them. Most of them were probably about 4'11" to 5 feet tall. Again, I was over 5 feet at that time. Two, I'd just gotten my period. Oops. I developed charisma before most of the girls did. But of course, none of that mattered to me. All I saw was this number that was bigger than what I thought it was supposed to be. So that bummed me out. Fast forward like a year later. I'm 12 years old. I'd been putting on a little bit of weight. I'd probably gained 10 pounds since that last year. I really wasn't that athletic. I had done sports teams, but I was getting to this point. It was like getting into teenhood where I wanted to do more artistic and theater stuff. I didn't really want to play sports. So my mom put me on Jenny Craig for the first time. It was good. It worked out well. I think I only had to lose 10 to 15 pounds. I did. I looked and I felt great. I was getting more attention from guys. Girls were definitely trying to sabotage my diet because they were telling that they could tell that I was losing weight. But it all worked out. It was good. Fast forward 1 year later, 13 years old, 8th grade. I was at this school. It was the second year I was at this private school where a lot of kids were mean to me because I wore really weird outfits. And also, my parents were getting a divorce. It was a really rough year for me. I was super depressed. I turned into like an emo punk kid. I wore like lots of black, tons of black eyeliner. Again, just being made fun of all the time. I started doing badly in school. I'd never gotten a C before in class, and that was the first time I really did. And I didn't feel good. And then my mom moved to Chicago before we did. I was in Arizona at the time, and I was living with my dad for about 5 months, but he was never home. And so me and my siblings were left alone a lot. And I ate everything. I loved food. I loved food ever since I was a kid. That year, I gained probably about 30 pounds. It was really bad. So my mom put me on Jenny Craig again. I think I'd lost about 15, 20 pounds. You know, I needed to lose probably 20 more, but we couldn't afford it. Financially, it was too expensive. We weren't doing well that year because of my parents' divorce and a lot of other things. So I had to cut the diet, never learned how to really just eat properly, get myself off the diet and eat properly on my own. After that, I went to high school. High school was a lot better than middle school. It was still not the greatest thing, but it was a lot better. I wasn't being made fun of a ton. And I made more friends, and I made friends that I actually liked. I was in the theater program. I was having a lot of fun. But I was still always struggling with my weight. I still never really learned how to do proper portion control. I still just loved food. And it was also something that comforted me. Whenever I was feeling anxious, I have really bad anxiety, I would eat. And it was awful. Probably gained about 10 more pounds that year. 10, 20, I don't know. I don't remember really. By the time I was 17, senior year of high school, I went on Jenny Craig again. 3rd time. I had lost, I think, 30 pounds, but I think I needed to lose 40. And I still was struggling with that last 10 pounds. That is the hardest thing, is to get past the last 10 pounds. But either way, for the most part, I felt really great. And I looked great, and I went to prom, and I got to wear this little dress, and I just looked really happy. But I still thought that I was overweight and that I was fat. I still, in my mind, was like, oh my god, I have these love handles. Oh my god, my arm, it shakes. What is this? Like, I still thought I was fat. And let me tell you, I look back at those pictures from when I was a senior in high school, and I want to punch myself in the face because I looked absolutely stunning. But I just never believed it. I just did not think that I was thin enough. So then I went to college. Yay! The college that I went to had a really awesome cafeteria. There were like pizza on Mondays, there was stir fry on Tuesdays, there was a dessert room, aka the fat room. There were all different kinds of cereals, sugary and non-sugary. They would have a cake in there almost every day, frozen yogurt machine, just all kinds of good stuff. So what do? First time away from home, my mom doesn't have control over what I eat. I pig out. I gained all the weight back, and probably then more. It was bad. I just let myself go. And I think the reason why I let myself go is because I didn't think I was skinny in the first place. When I really was. And not skinny, but thin. Next year I joined swim team. And I got in shape and I became toned. But swim team, if anyone knows what it's like to be on any kind of sports team, you are burning so many calories, you're working really hard, you get hungry all the time. You are just starving. And again, I was still at that school, so the cafeteria was just heaven to me. So I didn't gain a ton of weight because I was on swim team, but I still didn't lose anything. Then I transferred schools 2 years ago. And, you know, the first year's fine. I wasn't losing weight. I wasn't really trying to. I was just doing my own thing. Then I started dating this guy who was a very nice guy. It was my most serious relationship ever. I'd never really had a serious relationship like this. We hung out all the time. I would stay at his place a lot. He was older. He was about 6 years older. He made pretty good money, so we would go out to eat a lot. I mean, he didn't cook. I didn't cook. We wanted to go out to eat all the time. So we went out to eat all the time, and he still stayed super hot. Why? Because he worked out 2 to 3 hours almost every single day. Me? No. No way. No way. I'm not gonna work out. Like, I hate working out. Screw that. I don't need to. Whatever. I'll just walk a lot. And that 1 year that we were together, I gained like 30 pounds. Maybe 40. I was the heaviest I'd ever been. Shortly after we broke up, I looked at myself in the mirror, and I looked at myself on the scale, the number that was on the scale, and I just could not believe it. I could not believe I had gotten that heavy. I'm so mad at myself for letting myself get that heavy. It was unbelievable. So just me, I do not live with my parents, my mom is in a different state. I decided to put myself back on Jenny Craig. By the way, before this, I had also tried Weight Watchers and the Slim Fast diet and Atkins, and it just, you know, they work if you really, really try hard, but as someone who doesn't like to cook and who's stubborn and kind of lazy, Jenny Craig was a good choice. So I went back on Jenny Craig about a year ago, almost a year ago. And it's the first time in my life where I realized that I just can't eat whatever I want. No matter how delicious it is, I cannot do this because I am slowly killing myself. That's what it's like. Food, it can be like a drug. You will eat this amazing, delicious burger and you just feel so good while you're eating it. It is so satisfying. All your taste buds are just jumping with joy. And then afterwards you feel like crap. You don't know why, and you're thinking, why did I eat that? But then your taste bud's like, I want more though. It was so good. So then you keep eating it, and you keep eating it, and you eat Chipotle, and you eat Five Guys, and you eat Domino's, and it just is all so good, but you just feel awful. I've gotten to this point where I realize it's not worth it. Yes, diet food is not very satisfying. I will tell you that. It's not. Sometimes I will only eat half my Jenny Craig food because I'm like, this tastes like crap. But I feel so much better. Again, I'm 22 pounds thinner, maybe a little bit over. I'm actually going into my weigh-in in a couple days. And I just feel, oh my god, I feel so much better. So after that, I'm going to the Disney College program, so I'm not going to renew my Jenny Craig thing. But I'm going to try my hardest not to gain weight. Oh, I want to lose more weight. I want to try to be healthy and happy and yeah. I'm now at this point in my life where I can do these things and I can accomplish just about anything I put my mind to. So, you all have a wonderful night, evening, morning, day, week, weekend, month, year, anything. Alright, and I will talk to you later.